And we're back, and we are underway here with game two. Looks like we're having a slight issue with the cropping, but props to Amarith for even attempting a hot swap. Honestly, I'd be lost. So this is Lumaga versus Signumbs game two. After their exciting match last night, it's just a fast Ganon was the change made. Doesn't look like anything too exciting early. So we'll continue to
A
talk a little bit
sword.
with Leslie. Oh, one sword, yes. Unless Leslie decided to leave. I heard a couple of leaving notices. Oh,
Yeah, I think Leslie left.
yeah.
I don't
Don't
blame
blame him. No, not at all. All right. So yeah, looks like we are French vanilla sword a little bit here. Signum's deciding not to do escape is doing lumberjack in that area. Well, I'd hope he's doing lumberjack because this is a Go Mode podcast stream with me commentating.
him. I do it just for some sanity, and then of course end up doing Aga anyway. Um,
Hmm.
let's see what we get out of escape here.
All right, doesn't look like anything too interesting. I'm kind of surprised Signums didn't check the tree pole there. 5 rupees on lumberjack, by the way.
Yeah, Lumaga gets the lamp out of escape. Not bad to see. Could be required even if we need that for a fire source.
Hmm. Always check lumberjack before the hour mark. Correct. Barring that, always check the lumberjack before the hour and 40-minute mark.
And I believe I checked it before the 60-second mark.
You did. That's just more a reference to uh, something else that happened earlier in the Challenge Cup.
Map out of the boomerang chest. So let's see if
Oh,
there's anything in Zelda's cell.
sir, I'm gonna at you something real quick. In Paul Turney's chat on the Discord. Although I'm sure Amrith probably has already done this for you. Let me know when you have that, because it sounds like you're a little bit behind.
Yeah, that would help. Yeah, I was watching the touch stream.
Yeah, I figured. Right. I missed what was on in Zelda's Cell because I was getting that fixed, but meanwhile, Mine's Basement, we've got a whole lot of nothing, including the single arrow Destiny. Well, that's something. That's the hook shot.
Yeah, in my day, those cost 500 rupees.
Oh no. Yeah, that last seed was that last seed was a thing. Pendant Hera and crystals on Eastern and Desert per chat on that map check. Bombos. Back in your day, that didn't even exist. You guys did not find Bombos.
Yeah, it must have been in GT somewhere.
And Blue Mail, Blue Meringue, and Cape. Fairly loaded so far.
I mean, 20% or
Yeah.
20% back from the bottle vendor isn't too bad.
Yep. Yeah, Amarith, I'm sorry. That was wrong of me to mention that on stream. I apologize. You are doing an incredible job. Keep it up. All right, back at the tavern in Kakariko here. I honestly, I hope this race is closer than your guys' was, but I also hope it isn't as close as their game one was, if that makes sense.
I hope it's closer. I feel like 7 seconds or whatever it was is just too much of a gap.
Oh man! All right. At the request of chat, my name is Westside Vandal. I am sitting alongside Mercer, who has so graciously just decided to jump right on in from his from the race that just concluded to co-com with me. Uh, he, we were hoping to have a bit more of a break between seeds, but then that seed happened. Uh, this is being tracked still by He's Just a Boy. Thank you for pulling double duty on tracking He's Just a Boy. And Amarith is, as always, well, almost as always, been restreaming both matches tonight and did an amazing job hot swapping. And looks like 100 rupees on desert race game as Lumaga picks up the chest we've already seen from Signumbs. I clicked things. That is technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Yeah, that gets Signums within Houlihan room of Zora money if he really wants it.
Yep. It would be interesting to see something important on Zora 2 seeds in a row. All right. So checking the swamp here. Gonna have that hook shot so we can just easily check both things at once without having to enter and exit repeatedly. Nice little time save there. Oh, chat pointing out something. We have a cape, we have a sword, we have a lamp. Hmm.
Yeah, we won't see that until we have a Moon Pearl or they have a whole lot of nothing left to do.
All right, Amarith, after making sure that the restream didn't catch fire, Amarith has gone back and reviewed the footage and determined that the sword was in the back of Escape and the lamp was in the first chest to Zelda's cell. Or on the way down to Zelda's cell. Mini Moldorm now?
That was Uncle's area, right? Yeah. We have not seen the back of Escape was in the three
Yep.
chests at the back of that. Ooh.
Bottle and bow in Mini Moldorm Cave. So that's going to put Eastern Palace fully clearable once Lumaga gets over there. Back of Escape being Uncle's area, I think that's what you're pointing out while I was focused on Bottle and Bow.
Yeah, we still have back of Escape to do whenever bloods come available.
Or technically, we could go back and do it now because we have the lamp, although that would be kind of weird.
Well, we didn't see the small key yet, but I don't think we saw Dark Cross either. It could be there.
Ah. Master Sword in the Ice Rod Cave. No, you have not mentioned that you love Signumbs Forever recently, Amarith. Thank you.
I gotta get one of these fancy ones with the hundreds digits that work better.
And Drunk Future yourself asking, and Slowpoke316 answering what Signums chose to make Game 2 quote unquote harder. He chose Fast Ganon.
Yeah, no GT today unless we have 3 swords hiding there or something.
Which we already know we do not, because Master Sword was... oh, wait! Wait, yeah, no, it'll be Master Sword for Lumaga. I was just like, wait, why does Signums only have Fire Sword? Because Signums apparently did not do Escape. There's tight Power Glove. And there's red meringue.
And there's one of our pieces to try and dodge that Aga 1 play people were rooting for.
Yeah, our chat has already seen how an Aga seed can go wrong tonight, and yet they're chanting for another one. Lumaga picking up the bottle and bow from Mini Moldorm Cave. And Signumbs is going to take that self-same bow, and even though he does not have the lamp, I believe he is going to do Eastern Palace here.
Yeah, these are basically the easiest dark rooms in the game, so
Yep.
I'm not terribly surprised to see Signum's not worrying about it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not. I will fully admit not being the best runner in the world. I have won exactly one, count it, one match in tournament play, and that was all the way back in last year's Challenge Cup. And even I, at this point, don't really consider the dark rooms in Eastern Palace to be that much of a deterrent. Which isn't to say I constantly do them, because I actually kind of hate doing the one to actually get to Armos Knights.
Yeah, that one can be annoying if the green guy gets away from you. I am going to blank on the actual name of these mobs.
That's perfectly all right. I just call them what I feel like, because I'm good at my volunteer job. Sorry, I'm just about as giddy as you are, and I didn't even play in that trash fire.
Oh no, I'm always like this. I never remember the names of any of those. Sigmund's having a little bit of trouble with that skeleton room. Gets a third one to spawn, but gets through it.
All right, there's the big key. Misery Myers, our green pendant today. I don't think Signumbs got that information from Sahasrara himself, but Lumaga did, so now we know it.
Yeah, it could mean no flute today.
True. All right. So Lumaga might be able to make up a little bit of time here simply by not having to worry about the dark rooms, specifically. Even though they are easy, they are a little on the time-consuming side, depending on the setup.
Yeah, the lamp is always nice for dark rooms just because you will always go faster, not having to try and fumble your way through them.
All right, so Signumbs through the first dark room here, and is going to be making his way to the vanilla big key chest. All right, and there's another bottle, which we already knew about. All right, so I think Signums is going to get to Armos first, but Lumaga is definitely not going to be too far behind. Ooh, Signum's deciding to take a bit of a detour and grab a ferry. Which, fair play. I mean, yes, he has blue mail, but it is still only 6 hearts, and you can take a bit of a beating in this room if you're not careful.
Yeah, you're probably not going to kill the second of the guards besides the one that drops the key, so you'll usually take some hits going through the room. Yeah, it looks like he's killed everything except the one he needs to.
Yep. And he's also lost track of it now. Oh, there we go.
And he's got the key, just has to get through the room.
Although, yeah, it shouldn't be too much of an issue now because he has killed everything, so he just gotta feel his way around here. There we go. Grabbing the pot is the worst part for our tracker. I'm gonna probably out myself as a weirdo here and say getting through that door is the hardest part for me for some reason. Like I will grab the pot, I will throw it, and then for some reason I will just completely be unable to enter the door to leave the room. And I'm just like, but this should be the easiest part. Go until you hear the click and then press up. And yet here we are.
Yeah, these are going to be time saves. That was a little rough for Signums. Sets up for the quick kill.
And looks like he has it. Question mark. Yep.
It's not much in the way of progression here, but, you know, one of our 7 crystals.
Yeah, that's 1/7 of the way there. It's 16 and a half minutes in. Not bad. Our tracker saying doors are hard, so now I just want everybody to picture one of those uh, holding hands memes that just has doors as the handhold, and then Vox Machina and Link to the Past dark room runners.
I mean, anybody who's tried to go back to the big chest and swamp probably agrees that doors are in fact.
Right. Lumaga, yep, is definitely going to be making up some time because he is already to Armos here. Moon Pearl in the back, Fire Rod. Good gracious.
Yeah, we do have an item at Dark Cross. Looks like Signums is gonna go that way. There are torches in most of these rooms, not all of them from this side, but the fire rod does actually put it in logic because you can
Yes.
get there from the front side.
Yep.
I mean, also we have access to the lamp, but Signums doesn't for that.
Yeah. And chat pointing out that the Fire Rod and Moon Pearl by itself make a pretty awesome escape. The fact that there was other stuff in that escape just puts the icing on the cake.
Yeah, the lamp is the main thing. I guess if you count Uncle area in with it, that's
Oop, I did not see what was in that dark cross room, but judging.
full heart content.
Okay. I was about to say, judging by the non-response from you, it was not anything too important.
You're not gonna say no to 8 hearts.
True.
Yeah, let's see if he heads up the mountain. Doesn't.
Yeah, Old Man not too far behind Eastern Palace on the list of dark rooms that are easy to learn, but it is also still kind of annoying, and there are other things you could do. Like, for example, Sick Kid. For Signumbs, he is gonna. Oh dear, hello. That's Titans.
Well,
Did somebody say Dark World access?
by Aga for a little while. Could still be logically required. We don't have access to the east part without doing some shenanigans.
Oh, I get what you're trying to say. Sorry, I was like, how is it not logically required? I thought you were trying to say the Titans were out of logic somehow, and I was like, wait, what?
No, it's possible that there's a way you could have to do Aga by logic at this point.
Okay, 5 and 6, Thieves Town and Palace of Darkness, blue pendant on Thieves Town. Or Turtle Rock, wrong T dungeon.
Yeah. Turtle Rock and Meyer, which we already knew Meyer from Lumaga's chat with the old man, but Signums didn't see that.
So that's none of the medallions. We potentially could need none of the medallions, and we could potentially not need the flute and not need the ice rod.
And by potentially, you mean hopefully.
You just played in a 2-hour seed, and now you're sitting here wishing one on the runners after you. Yikes!
I'm hoping they're not required. I'm happy to see a jet seed. If we're gonna do a fast scan, let's make it fast.
Oh, I get what you're trying to say. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. And that there wasn't much there to lose in the first place.
I think this is a totally reasonable play by Lumaga for chat. Got full access to the east side in Light World. It's
Yeah,
gonna be better for
yeah.
Signumbs, but
Yeah, but chat, that same chatter correcting themselves and saying that he did not see the fact that Lumaga has the hook shot.
yeah, Lumaga could be really interesting if Lumaga gets Hammer up here because it might take a while to get over to Sick Kid.
Thieves Town and Palace of Darkness were the 5/6 crystals. To answer a question in chat. All right. Signumbs making a play to Skull Woods, which perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, not a terrible fight with Master Sword and Blue Mail 8 Hearts. I don't know what he's got in the bottles in terms of potions, if anything.
Just whatever came in them, I believe, and I know one of them was a B.
Well, that's not going to help
So
with
that's,
that.
I mean, that'll help versus Mothula. I mean, that's kind of swag strats to unleash a B on Mothula, but it does technically do something. Shovel. Speaking of technically doing something.
So shovel and 2 full heart containers is the best we get out of Paradox.
Apparently. Oh, apparently we also missed a mushroom in Paradox. Or somewhere along the way.
I think that might have been the old man prize. I didn't see it.
Mushroom was on Old Man. Okay, thank you, chat. Nothing of note on Floating Island. So we will not be seeing that today. Lumaga checking Spiral Cave. Has the hook shot, elects not to use it. Signumbs, meanwhile, trying to conserve magic here and use the Master Sword on these Gibdos.
You take a lot of hits from this sword.
Yep.
I'm not sure how much I like.
I was about to say, I'm not sure how much I like this play. I mean, yes, it does save magic, but that's a large amount of time you had to spend to kill 3 out of 4 of those Gibdos.
Looks like Lumaga heading south.
Oh, Signumbs has to kill yet another Gibdos to... Well, no. Okay, I guess he was picking up magic there. Alright. Master Sword, Mothula fight. Needs to be very careful here, because those spikes still do 1 heart of the damage. And so does Mothula himself on Blue Mail.
Yeah, on Blue Mail, all hits are equal. Green or red, you can prioritize.
Yeah.
It takes 200 points from.
Looks like he's going to take another crack at it. Is he gonna... I don't necessarily agree with this either. I don't agree with coming back here after already dying once. especially if you're going to continue to insist on sword spinning to kill a couple Gibdos to do this room. I feel like your time is much better served going to Thieves Town at this point, and Village of Outcasts. You can always come back here to finish off Mothula once you get like tempered or maybe some more, like half magic, or get some potion refill.
Yeah, I'm bad at Mothula. For that reason, I like to put off Skullwoods early. It definitely can bite you though if you do it.
Meanwhile, Lumaga has fake flippered.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna see, and we still probably will, unless this pays off in some way. Shovel routed over to check.
Oh hey, a fairy. I'll take things
Oh, that could
Signumbs wishes he had right now for 200, Alex.
Lumaga stocking fully up on fairies. I don't know that I would take the second. There's a decent chance you're going to want to death warp it.
Yep. All right. Signumbs, meanwhile, collects his second crystal after a decent rematch with Mothula. Lumaga finding out that the Zora Ledge is not worth his time or splash deletion.
Yeah, and doesn't have the money to actually pay Zora, which would have been in logic, unlike the Waterfall Fairy.
Yep. All right, so he's gonna, I would assume, route in the drugs, unless he did that while we were looking at over at Signumbs fighting Mothula.
Nope, that's where he's heading now. Given that he's gotten, like, he didn't get, no, he got those fairies, I'm guessing he saved with, so I was wondering if he might retain the mushroom with a hard reset, if this is nothing. Half
Well,
magic.
that's something. Yeah, that's a good trade, I think.
And it's going to make for a much, much easier Skullwoods for Lumaga.
Yep. Meanwhile, Signum's still searching, I believe, for that second item in Skull Woods.
Oh, I don't like this route from Lumaga too much. I mean, assuming this is heading towards Sick Kid, I really would have started at Link's House and routed in that shovel.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good call. All right, so Signum's now checking the big chest here in Skull Woods, the non-bomb jumpy way. Lumaga receiving his Titans. And there is that second item from Skull Woods, just a little piece of love. And now we'll see what Lumaga decides to do. I would assume he would at least give a thought to doing Skull Woods right now. Half magic, 2 fairies, Master Sword, and Fire Rod. And so of course he's gonna make a liar out of me and go do Village of Outcasts first. Oh, nope. Thought about it. And audible back out into doing Skull Woods first. Alright, Signum's now checking C-shaped house.
And they're potentially as few as 3 items away from go mode, I think. They definitely need hammer, flippers, and I'm gonna blank, either and book or flute and mirror, and then they might need the boots depending on Desert's layout.
Yeah, so yeah, that's adding up here. There's yet another bottle. 3 out of 4 bottles found so far.
Let's see how Signumbs routes this. Looks like you might head into Thieves Town without the hammer. Sometimes people really hate doing that. Maybe not.
Well, opened it up, so I would assume that's his next play. But then he's like, well, chess game's right here, might as well. Immediately gets his money back and gets the bacon sword.
Yeah, you're not going to complain about the sword. Uh,
Nope.
Thieves is the dungeon it doesn't really help that much with, but hey.
Yeah, helps with the rest of the seed and makes the prospect of fighting Ganon without finding those silvers a little more palatable. And hammering first chance with
Okay.
thieves. Okay then.
You know what would have been really nice? Where would have been really nice to have that tempered or hammer for? Module.
Mm. Yes. So. Yeah. So at the moment, it kind of looks like Saha is showing some extreme favoritism to Lumaga and Signumbs over you and Leslie. What on earth? Just yikes.
Yeah, that said, Hammer in Thievestown can get a lot of people because a lot of people don't like to go in there without it.
Yep. All right, little piece of love, and we have seen the big key. Meanwhile, Lumaga, cutting his way through Skullwoods, is running a little bit low on health. Might want to watch himself here. Just spite kills that second thing he was already past.
Yeah, I mean, he's got two fairies, so he's not exactly in danger here. But
Right, but you know,
hopefully he
Mafia
doesn't try to take
is.
a death to refill or something.
Mhm.
Forget about him.
Yeah, but you do definitely want to keep those two fairies in your back pocket as long as possible going into this fight. Because Mathiola can still throw out some surprises if he wants to, if he feels like it. Chat berating me for saying that accusing Saha of favoritism, which I mean, fair.
Yeah, and
Mirror,
oh,
hello.
wow, this is a pretty loaded thieves town.
Yeah, that's Mirror and Hammer.
Yeah, so we need flippers and then just a way into desert potentially, and then maybe boots.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is looking pretty quick here. That being said, who's ready for one of those two items to be on the pedestal? Oh
Well,
wait,
it'd
well,
have to
flute.
be
It'd have to
flippers
be a
or
paradox. Yeah, it'd have to be Flippers or the Book of Medora. Or
well, no, it can't be the book. Could be the boots. Um, they can get into desert if they have the flute because they have the mirror.
why could it not be the Book of Medora?
I mean, it could, but it would have to lead directly to flippers. The Book of Medora. Get to the pad, they have to have the flute to get Meyer done. And you can backdoor
Oh.
desert with flute
Oh,
plus
good
mirror.
point. Yeah, you're right. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, with this being fast Ganon, not having the cane is not a concern. You don't have to worry about the 5 and 22.
All right. Meanwhile, Signumbs making quick work of blind. Speaking of the Book of Medora.
Yeah, so that could be desert clearable. Uh, I might be tempted to check. If they got flippers, I would definitely go to desert first just to.
Yep. So yeah, that was absolutely a loaded Thieves Town. And it wasn't even a pendant dungeon. What on earth?
Well, it wasn't not a pendant dungeon. It was actually a 5/6 crystal, and we can full clear.
Yeah. Usually Thieves Town is only that loaded when it's a pendant. Alright, let's see what the game has for us. Okay, one dig for a piece of heart. This is just...
I mean,
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
looks like Signum's going to do. That's fine. Looks like Signum's going to do the Smith chain here. Makes sense. That actually could lead over to a desert check after purple chest, since you're in that area, and then you can find out, do I need boots or not? Definitely
Yep.
need the flippers because of swamp. You could fake flip in swamp.
Lumaga, meanwhile, interesting little piece of decision difference here. Lumaga picked up the 300 rupees on Bumper Cave there. Signumbs has not. And I believe Signumbs did actually go look at that. So Lumaga has Zora money now, if that comes into play. I don't see how it would, but I mean, it could be
vanilla
exactly
flippers.
boots. Or, yeah, oh, vanilla flippers. Oh. Oh. All right. Thank you for hanging with us for the first race, Zorro, and enjoy that relay.
Yeah, if I want that one, I'll probably try and catch that if it's still going when we're done here.
Yeah, which, I mean, at the
I'm
rate we're
only
going, we
in the
might be...
last part of it.
We might catch a fair bit of it at the rate this is going, although it is starting to slow up a little bit at the moment.
I mean, potentially only takes one item here for Signums at least. Lumaga's got to go in full clear thief. You might get the fast part of the fast cannon for once.
Yeah.
It feels like every time I see one of those, it ends up going an hour 40.
Yep. And this is the... By the way, this is their second game in the series, and the second time the hammer's been in a dungeon where hammer is kind of important. where you don't generally want to be in the dungeon without the hammer, and that's Palace of Darkness was the head dungeon last night, and tonight it's Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't Lumaga sequence break a bow there? Or no, sequence broke the hammer to get
Sequence broke the hammer.
The bow was within pot.
Yep. Which allowed him to close the gap and then eventually take the lead and win in that seed. Which I just... wow. All right. Location sometimes known as Hype Cave. Cana Samaria.
Didn't really want to see that. Did not want to see that.
Oh no. Oh no. Hey. That pendant mire, that green pendant mire. You want to go do the green pendant mire? Huh?
It could be Quake, hopefully. They got a lot of checks I would make before doing grab that chest, but it's fine.
Yeah. Whew. All right. So what's Gary gonna give us for the chest this time around? $20. He's being a little stingy now.
Yeah, I mean, you get to route Bombos in here. This is pretty great.
Yep. Route Bombos in, and then, like you said earlier, go check and see if we need those boots or not. Of course, it would be even funnier if boots happen to be right here. Or on Agina, which I don't think either of our runners has checked yet. Signums, what are you doing? That was a weird save and... Oh, he can go activate the flute and come right back. That's a good point. Good call, chat.
Yeah, I probably would have done Agina.
I mean, he nothing stopped him from doing it on his way back down this time around. All right, Lumaga continuing to make his way through Thieves Town. Gonna receive the rest of the bounty here, as it were. And we can't quite hear it, but please rise for the Hyrulean National Anthem. And at 41 minutes 56 seconds, the goose is loose and the duck is amuck, and whatever rhyming phrases you can think to put in here. I might start going with the mallard is empowered, maybe. We'll workshop that.
Looks like gonna head up the mountain. That makes some sense too.
Especially because he can do everything with those titans. Lumaga did light side and has not yet gone back up there with those titans.
Yeah, everything, there's a pretty decent chance, includes all of Turtle Rock except Trinets.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I personally think he'd be crazy to do that before at least going into desert, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
I mean, we've seen crazier, and we've seen crazier work, so... Lamp was in Escape on the way down towards Zelda's chest, or Zelda's cell, which Signums has not gone back for, and honestly, I don't see a reason for him to go back there anytime soon.
Yeah,
There's
he's at
so
least
much...
got the fire.
Oop. He's got so much left to check, is the thought I was starting, and then stopped for Mercer, and then seems to be having a bit of an issue.
Sorry about that. I think my connection's being a little rude.
Nope, you're fine.
I was just going to say, Signums is probably fine. Like, the hardest dark room he definitely has to do is Pod Basement, but that's a lot easier with Fire Rod than without any light
Yep.
source.
Oh, he's gonna go into Hera here as well. The other pendant dungeon.
I mean, it might work out for him. I mean, I wouldn't do this without at least seeing desert, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see both arguments. You're here, and you are just kind of looking for one or two more items, and maybe you get lucky. But at the same time, yeah, you're sitting there and you're going, I've got all these overworld checks to do. I've got desert just sitting there. I've got, I mean, you're looking at, you have a lot of mire open to you.
Well, I would probably do this before doing Meyer. Does
Yeah.
bail after ground floor gets one of the two items out of there. It's just money.
All right, Lumaga now taking his purple chest on a bit of the tour there. Yeah, I will say I am a little bit interested to hear why Signums did not go back to desert area. I mean, I can understand saving and quitting from Bombos to activate the flute, but I would have probably immediately gone back and done desert for the go mode knowledge, as pointed out by our tracker, and Agina. And plus, I would have given significant thought to doing checkerboard and Mire Shed.
Yeah, there's just such a huge difference between one item from Go mode and two items from Go mode. I would really want to know if I need those boots.
We are seeing some duplicate checks here, so I'm just going to go ahead and do some cheap plugs real quick. If you're enjoying the action, be sure to follow the Go Mode Podcast Twitch channel. We're going to be restreaming a bunch more Challenge Cup action. If you want to listen to the podcast, please feel free to do so by also subscribing to the podcast on your podcast reader of choice. We've got a fairly cool and chill Discord for you to join. Don't forget to follow the runners in today's race, the commentators, and our restreamer and tracker. Tracker and restreamer, particularly for pulling double duty back to back. And my other comm for racing in the previous seed and then immediately jumping in to do commentary.
Lumaga
Like,
seeing the unfortunate hype cave. It's like, oh, here's all the items you don't want right now.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I'm commentating back to back, but honestly, after that first seed, I kind of feel like that's like the least of the accomplishments on the table at the moment, because yeah, my co-com is one of the guys that played that seed, and he didn't go. You know what? I need to go away for a minute. He was just like, okay, let's start commentating.
I'm a lot better at talking than I am at doing.
True. Valid point. I mean, or it's a lot easier, I suppose. Well, okay, at least that removes some of the pain. We do, in fact, need Quake to get into Turtle Rock today.
For their sakes, they probably want that to be somewhere in GT.
Mm-hmm.
Although it might just be like right here in Hookshot Cave or something.
I was about to say, given how trolly that hype cave was, we're gonna see Quake within the next 5 chests or somehow.
And
All
looks
right.
like we are going to see those checks we were interested in from Lumaga. This could actually be a pretty big shift in the race one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Arusta with the $1 million question. If you're Signums and you find Quake here, do you follow through?
I mean, if you've gone this far, I really don't want to do Pendant TR though. Lumaga also save quits out, although could still go activate Flute and then do this
Yep.
area.
A whole lot of nothing in Hookshot Cave. In fact, I believe that was just 4 pieces of heart. Oh no, there was a 20 in there. Never mind, there was a big 20 in there.
And I guess this is Spike Cave.
I mean, the old man technically had the mushroom, and he is sort of part of Death Mountain. We'll see if...
we know the mushroom has nothing.
Yep. Well, no. Half magic.
Nothing progression, I should say. Although Signumbs does have the red cane available, could fake out.
Just the shield in Spike Cave today. All right. I hope you enjoyed that playing of a recording of the Hyrulean National Anthem. Completely missed that. All right.
Let's see if Signums goes to 5 or 6.
Looks like he's going to 6. Yep.
Yeah, I would really want the information. I mean, pod is also kind of tempting because it's kind of 7 items.
Yeah. Actually, it would be 8 because it's 6 plus opening up 5 and 6. Oh wait, no, it's 5. Sorry.
I was about to say, I'm like, I thought it was 5. Swamp is 6. TR is effectively 6 with Mimic Cave.
It would be 7 because it'd be 5 plus 2 for 5/6 crystal.
Yeah, yeah.
Math.
And it looks like a catfish check out of Lumaga, I'm guessing.
Which means we might see the pod play from Lumaga here.
Yeah, I don't hate the pod play.
Flippers.
Well.
Hello.
I mean, Signums cannot feel great right now because, you know, if they'd come straight to 6 to check that, they definitely would have gone into desert. So around a 50-50 chance that we are in go mode right now, depending on the desert layout.
Oh boy. Oh, Chad also pointing out with that mirror we can do catfish into Zora.
That is true.
Although
Zora...
Lumaga is still 23 rupees short.
And looks like it will be a pod play out of Lumaga.
All right. Moment of truth time. The torch has the big key on it. We need to find those boots. Watch there right here. I would have laughed so hard.
Now for the bad news. Those boots can be more or less anywhere in the game outside of GT. There are like Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb that are locked by boots other than the rest of Desert.
Including Twitch chat's favorite location in all of Hyrule, the pedestal. Amarith, if Lumaga finds boots in Palace of Darkness, I'm gonna scream. I mean, same, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
If
their
Lumaga
Swamp are like
finds
the best bets. So
if Lumaga finds the one exact item he needs to turn the tables in Palace of Darkness for 2 seeds in a row,
yeah, so strap in, everybody. It's like an ice rod hunt if the ice rod were actually useful throughout the game.
All right, looks like we're gonna see ice from Signumbs here.
Yeah, I mean, looking for one item, that's not the place I'd go of the options, but you know, that's where it was at the end last seed, and ice isn't a terrible bet.
Yeah, and you know, it's a clearable crystal. Granted, so is Palace of Darkness and Swamp. Those both have more item density in them.
Yeah, you do gain just about as much time by go moding Swamp as you do ice, depending, you know, on left side. If you would have to do left side with if you weren't go moding it.
All right, compass and ice for Signumbs. Nice clean mimic room for Lumaga. Right. Small key and what will probably be another small key. Our tracker saying the Ice Palace is his favorite dungeon. We're just
I
gonna move
actually
on.
really like the cold stare fight, but I'm not a huge fan of the rest of the dungeon.
All right. So, whoop, didn't. Don't think. Oh, okay, he did. All right. For a second on my screen, it didn't look like Signumbs actually flipped that switch, so I was like, hold on a minute. Signum's gonna have some issues here with the bomb jump. Little low, I think. Yep. All right. Palace of Darkness, the Mullet Dungeon again today.
Yeah, it's just its nature outside of key sanity. Signum gets the bomb jump.
Nice little refill in the harmless health for Lumaga. Gonna go for the strike here. Nice. Nice job by Signums getting the spin kill on all 5 of those. So we're on alert for those boots. There's the second shield in the game. So both our runners now on the Fisher, baby shield. There's the Cane of Burna.
Yeah, that gets us exactly 0 location since we already had the cape.
Yep. In pretty much any situation where you'd want to use Burna from here on out, you could just use the cape far more efficiently and with less lag. All right, so Lumaga heading to Helmassar King.
Yeah, Pod kind of a bust so far.
Yeah, and honestly, Ice is too. Nothing really shaking out from Ice Palace so far either.
Yeah, I think we've only seen one of our actual items out of ice. We're down to just one of our 5 from Pod. Never mind. There's a second.
All right. Little piece of love. Refill for Signums.
And that should be all of the items out of here, so Signum should be good to just head for Cold Stare.
All right. So both our runners heading for a boss fight here. Lumaga still trying to search out one item in his dungeon. Signum's just looking for the crystal. And both runners looking for those boots. Although, I don't think Lumaga is... No, Lumaga's aware of that. I don't think Signums is yet. But then
Other
again,
way around. Signum's saw it after getting flippers. Lumaga doesn't have flippers yet. Needs to go over to Checkerboard Cave.
Okay. Sorry, a little bit of back-to-back seed fatigue starting to set in.
Yeah, I can sympathize.
Yeah.
Signum's dropping into the Cold Stare fight. Shouldn't be too bad. Bombos to save some magic for fire rod shots plus tempered sword.
All right. And that's the Quake medallion.
That's not what they wanted to see, although I don't think
No.
Lumaga knows that that's not what they wanted to see.
Nope. All right, so we know Turtle Rock is going to be still has some potential to be a thorn in our runner's side.
I mean, boots were there last seed.
Yeah. Misery Mire also in play at this point. 5 and 6 in play at this point.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that is quite possibly the item the runners least wanted to see.
well, the funny thing is, I don't think Lumaga knows that that's the entry for TR. Although now knows for sure that he can get in because all of the medallions. Um, and Signums, of course, doesn't have it yet.
We'll get it eventually, though, but we will see if we are going to need to get in there. Right, I think Lumaga is about to find out. We need to find the boots. Signumbs is also going to be able to go to Zora, which Lumaga could not earlier.
Yeah, hopefully Lumaga um, remembers to check the checkerboard cave on the way out.
I'm sorry, did Signumbs just flute away from Zora's domain?
Flew it away from Hobo. I think just this is actually a very slightly closer because you don't have to
Okay.
swim all the way back down.
Okay. For some reason, my brain was telling me that Signumbs was already in Zora's domain and fluted out, and I'm like, excuse me?
Now you can't actually flute from that area. It's super annoying.
Oop. Signumbs forgetting that one of his bottles has a bee in it. At least one of his bottles has a bee in it. In fact, both of them might be bees, except for the one he just put a fairy in. Good news. Enough money for Zora. Bad news. Not enough money for Kiki afterwards. Even with that big 20 on the ledge.
Yeah, that's true. That might push him towards doing the swamp.
Lumaga gonna do the ice play as well here?
Yeah, I mean, Lumaga's choice is not between ice and hot; it's between ice and swamp. I, that's not a real fun choice either.
And there's our last shield from the King of Scams. Not precisely a scam, but also not really something our runners needed.
Oh no, it's definitely a scam. They'll sell you a fire shield in the shops for like 75 gold or 75.
Valid point. All right. Now Lumaga gonna be doing some duplicate checks here, and I think Signumbs is indeed going to make that Swamp Palace play.
Yeah, this could be really good for Signumbs if it's in here.
If it's not, though, then the troll quotient of this seed is about to shoot into the stratosphere.
I mean, if it's not, you get your choice of Meyer, TR, or the remaining item in Hera, plus an ungodly number of overworld checks that they haven't done yet, Graveyard Ledge, all those kinds of things. There's not that many, I guess, at this point, but
I just realized something. I'm kind of surprised Lumaga didn't immediately cash in that Pyramid Fairy.
that's
Because
a valid point. Have we seen Pyramid
because
Ledge?
I don't believe we have, no. Because especially considering the order that the pendants or the crystals were done in. If Thieves Town happened to be the second leg of the 5/6s, then yeah, I can kind of understand that. But when you're in Palace of Darkness, that's a little less understandable. Trackers. Yeah, about that. He's just a boy. Yeah. Thank you for making me feel better about myself, though. I appreciate it. All right. Signumbs continuing to make his way into swamp after nothing on the bombable chest. So yeah, yeah, a lot of overworld checks left after swamp here. Mire fully accessible, Total Rock fully accessible. There's still an item in Hera, as you've already mentioned, Mercer. This is gonna get silly in a hurry if the boots are not here in swamp.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance we actually cannot get one of the actual items out of TR if it's on the boss and the ice rod. Um, it would, Trinex would have to have the compass or mirror or map for us to fully get everything out of.
Right. Looks like Signumbs is not going to skip left side swamp, which completely understandable. One item from go mode, two items on left side swamp.
Yeah, if you're one item from go mode and swamp is a crystal, I really like doing the boss first.
True.
But it kind of depends. If it's a pendant, it depends on if you've seen map or compass before you make the call to me. But when you've got to
Yeah.
kill the boss anyway, I tend to think you just go kill the boss first. I really like this Pac-Man ghost sprite, by the way.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of pretty strong sprites in the available to the randomizer. Lumaga using one of the other ones in Mega Man X. I'm a fan of Mega Man X, Abigail from Stardew Valley, Ness from Earthbound simply because, well, Earthbound. Enough said. Phoenix Wright's pretty good. Yeah, there are some pretty strong choices for sprites. And shout outs to the hardworking community doing those sprites. It's a lot harder than it looks, and it already looks pretty hard, if you ask me.
Yeah, I have no artistic talent of any kind, so I'm
Same goes to the guys making the amazing amount of MSU1 packs. If you run this game and you have the ability to do MSU1, you're doing yourself a disservice by not at least checking it out.
Yeah, it's only one item on left side swamp, and it's just a heart piece.
Alrighty, so Lumaga now, fluting to 4.
This is either swamp or the big red bomb.
Yep. I personally would do the big red bomb first, simply because you have it. And if it turns out to be correct, then you can go mode swamp.
Yeah, if it's Pyramid Fairy, this game is pretty well over. And it does look like Lumaga's heading that way.
Oh, there he goes. I was about to say, did Signumbs forget something? And he did, but he realized it and is going back for it.
Yeah, that's good. And
yeah, that's the big key.
oh,
And he's gonna go up and check the.
Yep, it got him.
All right. So Signum's gonna go ahead and turn that big key in and get 50 rupees for his trouble.
Well, it's a lot better than coming back here and seeing it.
True. All right. So, Pyramid Ledge, not what we're looking for. Pyramid Ferry. Silvers! Rupee. I
Okay,
saw red, and for a second I was like, oh my god.
yeah, the silvers will give back most of the time it took to do this check.
Chat pointing out that's vanilla silvers, by the way.
Yeah, I suppose it is. It couldn't even be our first vote because it's mine.
Oh man, that's kind of funny right there. Meanwhile, Signumbs gonna take down Argus with relatively little difficulty here with that tempered sword. Well done. He is going to receive a little piece. So yeah, we are now searching down a list of rapidly descending in let me restart that thought. We're very quickly going to start going into checks that are just going to get grosser and grosser as we go along.
I mean, we're already down to pretty awful ones. This is a mushroom turn in right quick, and then I would have to assume Signums is going. Oh, please don't buy a potion and go below the 110 rupees you need to get.
I mean, I don't see why you would waste your money on a red or a green here. God bless America. Okay.
He released a B, so I had to assume he was going to do something with it. So I assume he's going somewhere else, or he's going to be very, very sad.
I think he's going to be very, very, very sad.
Oh.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Well, have we seen the stun prize? Maybe it's a single green rupee and you can kill 16.
You were racing when I told this story, but earlier today. But in the seed, I was talking about in the last game where I forgot I had hook shot or did not mark that I had hook shot. So I was looking at my tracker, and my tracker was telling me I was out of options. I got trolled by Kiki and ran out of money. I had to use the shovel to dig up enough rupees to pay Kiki.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, and he even leaves you. I didn't actually realize that. So now he's going to need another
He's
10
gonna need,
rupees
yeah,
on top
he's
of
gonna
the
need,
16.
Yep.
To answer chat, last game's was 10 arrows. So this game does appear to be a small magic. He's just... Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're really going to do it.
Yep. Time to do some digging. Well, no, war flute out. I mean, you would be the authority on what the stun prize for last race was, being as you were one of its participants. Signum's gonna use Blind's Basement here for the rupees he needs.
Actually came up in GT. If we're going to have to fight Artemis Knights, I was going to need some more to get up the tower. So just going to get some money out of the backup line's hideout here. That's not the worst location, I guess. You can flip back, take that portal back, and save some wall.
I would, just to be safe, do a repeat run, simply to have a little bit of a cushion in case I get hit. But that's just me, because that happens to me all the time.
Oh no, he's just going to take the portal here. I mean, just don't get hit. It's fine.
Yeah, get good, scrub.
And there aren't very many places in the game where I'll say it's really important to learn not to get hit, but this section between
Is one of
the
them.
hedge
Yes.
maze and pod is, high on that list.
Yes.
Still, all this flowing about Lumaga's most of the way through about to fight Argus here. See if, I don't think Lumaga did left side, so we'll see if they head back in. Oh boy. I mean,
I'm sorry, Signumbs, if you watch this VOD back later. Oh no. I mean,
I would dig here for 6 rupees. He may not think about it.
and he can't leave Palace of Darkness with Kiki, so because Kiki's just gonna go. Yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
All right, Lumaga, meanwhile, gonna head into head back in the swamp and check that big chest out and receive his 50 rupees for his time.
Yeah, but this time Signumbs has been fighting with the monkey. Has basically been Lumaga's swamp clear.
Yep.
Like the swamp clear and the pod clear would have been pretty similar. Without this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Signum's just gonna do this pyramid ledge check.
To hope it's rupees at this point, which that's just unfortunate. Which, of course, we already knew it was that piece of heart, but Signumbs did not have that information.
Yeah.
All right, fluting, and I'm assuming he's just gonna go to CAC and use Blind's Basement again.
Well, yeah, this time we'll have the 120 rupees necessary if he gets hit.
Yeah, our tracker pointing out, I bet Signums wishes he can go back in time and not buy that green potion.
I mean, yes, I am positive that is the case.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of floored because call me elitist, but I almost never buy a green or red potion unless I have also bought a blue and I have empty bottles and I know I don't need rupees. Just as kind of okay, I guess I can have a backup green just in case. It never really enters my mind to buy anything except blues.
Yeah, I think Lumaga's about to have a bad time.
Oh no, Lumaga, buddy. Oh, rip.
Yeah. I think everybody's done that at least once. I did it about a month ago. It's always like the worst feeling.
All right, take number 3 for Signums here. All right, third time's the charm. Meanwhile, in the comedy of errors that has been the last 10 or 15 minutes or so for our runners, mostly Signums, but after this gaff, partially Lumaga. Signum's going to be full clearing pod himself, and Lumaga is going to be clear to go start some of our more disgusting checks.
Yeah, I mean, in their position, my next play at this point is in fact Turtle Rock, but there is an argument for Myers 3 items. You're probably only getting 5 if you count Mimic out of Turtle Rock, because Trinex probably has one, and you might end up having to double dip it later.
Do you think about taking that Book of Medora and checking the pedestal at any point? Or do you just keep
Yeah,
making checks and hoping for the best?
I probably do go ahead and check it.
I think that's exactly what Lumaga is doing.
Your order.
All right, chat. Hold on to your butts.
I mean, it's something like an 8% chance at this point, based off the locations we have left.
Yep, wrong way. There we go. Drunk Future Self dropping in the 100 bits for the ped check hype.
I most definitely made that exact same hype mistake as Lumaga.
All right, just pocket change. Move right along.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. That actually might get me to do TR first, and feel a lot better about it, because your odds of the item on Trinex being, Trinex locking the boots just half.
And it looks like Lumaga is hearing you from 15 minutes in the past. Although Lumaga also has not done the Dark Death Mountain checks at this point, I do not believe. I know Signumbs
Yeah.
has. That sounds ominous. He's just a boy. But speaking of GDQ runs, the Fallout 4 run specifically last night was amazing.
I enjoyed that runner. Don't know them very well, but I enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, I got there for New Vegas and Fallout 4 essentially, and he did the entirety of New Vegas while consistently talking. And then like Fallout 4 was starting, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm going to be talking a lot more during this run," and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, the Fallout, which I've seen runs of the earlier games before, the Fallout 1 run is like 6 minutes. So it's backloaded. Let's see if Lumaga does enter into TR. I fully expect them to, once they come up point on these Dark Death.
I would have to question Lumaga's routing if he does not. At this point.
I mean, this is 6 checks that are a lot quicker, but yeah, I kind of agree. Like, TR is a pendant, and you're not doing GT anyway, so there's really no concern about routing it in.
Like it, yeah. If this were not fast Ganon, I could see a point for putting it off. But even then, it's like pendant TR. You're up here anyway. You might as well do it.
Yeah, and Signumbs.
And so, of course, he is not going to do it. He is going to go check Tower of Hera.
Yeah, and then possibly Spike Cave after. There is one item we don't know about in Tower of Hera. If Lumaga full clears it, that could very well be it.
Oh yeah, Signumbs never did go back to Escape to pick up that lamp, so he's having to do Dark Maze. Oof.
Yeah, he's also going to have the choice between
the 5 rupees of legend on the Ether tablet. We already knew that, but I felt like saying that. All right, so there's going to be nothing here, with the exception of the big key. That's actually kind of something. Had it backwards. I thought it was the worthless item here and the big key in the chest.
No, I think it's 50 rupees. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I knew it was a non-important item and the big key, I just had the positions backwards. I thought the key was in the chest and not downstairs. All right. Lumaga gonna go ahead and continue the chain here and go up the stairs of Tower of Hera here. One item remaining.
Yep, and given that ped check, as soon as they find that second item, can bail out. Although it might be in the
That's the
basement.
small key, which is something you do not want to see. That's the map. You really don't want to see that.
Yep, hoping it's on Moldorm at least, because
Yep.
Ryan knows that this is not useful otherwise.
Well, it still could be useful. It's just you'd have to wait 30 seconds to get it.
Oh, I meant the killing Moldorm. Because obviously you just go to the basement.
Oh, yeah, good point. Sorry. Drain, no work, good. Previous seed melted. And I don't know how you're doing it at all. Because I'm sitting here like, okay, that last seed happened, and this seed's... It's polar opposite.
Yeah, gets
Almost.
a enraged Moldorm briefly there. And does get the other item. No need to go to the basement, but Hera is just money today. Probably should. It's hard to think of this when you're doing it, but just for people who are listening, sake, Lumaga knows Pet is dead. Could have just left rather than picking up the pendant.
Yeah, and saved a little bit of time sitting through the animation. Um, had to take a think about that for a second. I think he nearly dropped down in Light World instead of Dark World, and that would have felt silly.
And meanwhile, Signumbs is about to get um, Quake. If he heads straight for TR and Lumaga also heads for TR after this could actually be like suddenly a very, very close race if it's in there.
Yep. So remember an hour ago when we were like, yeah, we might be able to go catch that Zelda relay because this is looking like it's going to be over fairly quickly. About that. And
That's
by
all right.
we, I mean I, because I was the one that was saying that.
It's the crowd control race they were crazy enough to put on the schedule. I want to see anyway.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be interesting.
And looks like Signums is going to go digging. So Maga heading back up, I'm guessing, and there's nothing else up there, so it has to be a TR play. We'll be a little ahead if that's where Signums decides to go.
All right, Slowpoke asking what we have left to check, and that is a pretty succinct summary. It is Turtle Rock, Misery Mire, whatever the green pendant Misery Mire has to offer us, and Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, I think Signum's about to head for south of Grove Ledge, which I think Lumaga already checked.
He did, and I want to say it was nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're rooting for Signums, you probably want him to go to Meyer instead, because otherwise Lumaga will definitely be ahead if it is in TR. Oh yeah, this is Big Red Bomb check. I forgot Signums had.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just the I think the biggest difference right now is just the time Signum's lost to that pod entry, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, that that decision to buy a green potion is looming large right now, which is one of the oddest sentences I think I've ever had to say as a commentator.
Yeah, no, I think getting this big red bomb is um, time neutral, just for killing Ganon. And if we do end up needing to kill Vitreous, then it probably is a plus.
Right? Lumaga gets the quick hook there. Would have been a nice cane dash if we had had those boots. But regardless, able to take no damage here. Signum's going to go ahead and check escape, and he probably feels like if it's here, he's lost. But luckily for him, it is not here.
Yeah,
Or unluckily from a certain perspective, but he is going to get that lamp, which will probably help him in Mire if it ends up being there.
yeah. I'm not sure how comfortable Signums is with the Meyer Dark Room. I mean, I'm in this tournament. That's the one that I do not like doing if I can avoid it.
Yeah, I personally do not even mess around with most dark rooms outside of Eastern and to an extent Old Man, which I'm still kind of getting back in the groove of learning again because back before I had to take about a year off for personal reasons, I had learned the Old Man Dark Room, and in the intervening period, I kind of lost it. I'm starting to pick it back up again, but
Yeah, that's
but yeah.
probably the most useful one to know, um, just because it's nice to get that out of the way.
All right, Lumaga continuing the trek through
That is a
Turtle Rock.
stellar funny sprite.
Yes, holographic Doctor Light is probably a one of the best bunny sprites in the set. I think again Abigail from Stardew Valley being a Junimo holding up an amethyst is a pretty strong choice too. For those of you who know Stardew Valley.
I am not among those, so I'll take your word on that one. All right, Signums, let's see where you go. If you're rooting for a game 3, you're probably rooting for this to be a flute to 6 at this point.
That's a lot. Oh, he's thinking about it. Oh, that is a flute to 6. Here we
Okay.
go.
Given how many items Lumaga has seen at this point, this is basically a coin flip. So
Yep. But since it is going to be a well, Lumaga still has a couple checks in immediate vicinity. But to explain the joke a little bit, Junimos in Stardew Valley are kind of these mystical creatures that assist you around the farm. And amethyst is important because, of course, amethyst is a crystal. But because Stardew Valley is kind of a take on Harvest Moon games, you can gift people uh, items to make them feel better about you, and they give you certain responses. And Abigail is one of the people you can gift things. And for oh god, boots are in Mimic Cave.
it's in Mimic Cave.
Lumaga is in
That's
Go mode.
probably good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
that's pretty much GG at this point because yeah, Signums isn't gonna get out of Mire before Lumaga's taking on Ganon.
yeah. I mean, it's just a quick. Like I think it was the big key on the torch
Yes.
too. So it's literally
Go.
just dash, get it,
Yep.
do back, and then do Ganon because this is fast Ganon, so no GT. So that's probably going to be it. But Signum's made the plays they needed to make to catch up here. It just didn't work out.
Yep. Finishing the explanation real quick. Um, Villagers can respond to different categories of things you give them, including like if you give them a food item, they will comment on, "Oh, hey, this looks great," or "This is my favorite dish." Abigail, for some reason, had a glitch in the original release of the game where she would respond to you giving her an amethyst with, "Oh, hey, this looks great. How'd you know this was my favorite thing to eat?" And like she specifically mentions eating it. And the developer of the game thought it was so funny that he left it in. So it's become kind of a community in joke to see like Abigail eating rocks because yes, that's a sentence. Anyway, meanwhile, Powder was in Misery Mire, which is an interesting point of information, but not anything useful to Signums.
Kind of anti-useful. Will probably mean a magic bat check before heading up the mountain.
Yep. At least the big key isn't all the way down in the cutscene room, so he's got that going for him, which is nice. Eight-Year Rock is best Abigail file name. I might have to start using that. Because for a while I used Gotta Go Fast with Sonic, and then once Abigail was released, I changed it to Gotta Go Farm, because why not? But Eat Your Rock is a pretty strong contender. Thank you, I will file that away.
Y'all can feel free to guess, where the big key is in Gan's Tower. You'll just never know if you were right or not.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to do this just to make sure it's not glitched out. Okay, cool, it is not glitched out. Because I forgot to stop it when you guys did your game. I started it, and then I hit, I awarded the points, and then I was like, wait, I never typed the stop command. So, granted, I should have had better faith in Sinak as a coder that he would have closed that particular loophole, but speaking as somebody who used to dabble in programming, sometimes the most obvious loopholes are the ones you forget about.
And that is Lumaga's 7th crystal. So they just need to make their way over to the pyramid and kill Ganon.
Yeah, and with Tempered and Butter, this shouldn't be that much of a... Tempered and Silver is what I meant to say there. This shouldn't be too much of an ordeal.
Yeah, also cape and like a couple green pots, I think, or one green pot and 2 fairies, and
Yeah,
half magic.
yeah.
And, I mean,
yeah,
just go to town.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I seem to remember us talking about Lumaga picking up 2 fairies and it being a bit of an interesting play. I don't think he ever even used one of those fairies yet, has he?
Nope, and I don't think he ever released them either. I don't mind getting the first fairy. I just probably wouldn't have gotten the second in case the death work was needed because they didn't have the mirror at the time, but it didn't end up mattering.
Meanwhile, Signumbs taking those silvers that the tracker has not marked for him, and just destroying Vitreous. I also forgot Meyer is the green pendant, so that's also going to mean it would have meant a Saha check before Signumbs went up the mountain.
Yeah.
Phases 1 and 2 slightly less free with Tempered over Butter, if I remember correctly, but still pretty free.
Yeah, it's much harder to get the one cycle phase 1 in particular than it is with Butter, but it's not too bad of a fight.
Alright, Signumbs taking that green pendant immediately to Saha, hoping for Vanilla Boots. Unfortunately, he is not going to receive Vanilla Boots. He is, however, going to receive 300 rupees, which, considering where that is in relation to Palace of Darkness, has got to just feel almost as insulting as an item as can be on that particular check.
Yeah, that's a little rude, see. Lumaga
Oh no,
up.
Silver, my one true weakness on Lumaga's side.
Yep, focusing on getting the torch glitch.
Yep, got it. Probably didn't really need to focus on getting it with all of his safeties and whatnot in place, but still nice to have. Well, and then he goes and immediately whiffs the shots on the first try. So about that. There's the double.
Yep, just one shot away.
There we go.
And there it is.
All right. So Lumaga needs to survive the most dangerous 1x3 bridge in all of Hyrule, and he will take this down. There it is. Lumaga finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 40 minutes and 59 seconds.
I believe I specifically said something earlier about being tired of hour 40 fast cannon seats.
That's right, you did. Whoo, bad. All right.
Yeah, but with that win, Lumaga will be moving on in the brackets. So congratulations to them.
And speaking of Lumaga, Lumaga is in chat.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. GG's.
Thank you.
And there is Signumbs, so we'll be pulling him in as well. So just one moment here, and we'll start the interview. I got it. There we go. Oh. Lumaga with the 200-bit cheer. Thank you. All right, you two. GG's. I just realized I pulled Signumbs in early. Oh well. My bad.
No, let's talk about this one.
Yeah.
It was kind of on rails for a little bit. I mean, once you got mitts, it was kind of on rails. But you know, I almost got baited into going to AGA 1. I think I had Sick Kid, Shovel, Agina, and Zora. And if I couldn't get it with routing in Sick Kid and Shovel, I was just going to go straight to AGA 1.
Yeah. This seed wanted you to think it was Aga for a bit there. But luckily it was not.
It never really felt like that on my end. Felt like I got into Dark World pretty quick, actually.
Fair.
Not that apparently did me any good. Stupid boots.
Yeah. Yeah, those boots were kind of in a back-breaking location for you.
Well, you know, I almost went to Misery Mire along with Signumbs. After I was done with Spike Cave, you may have seen that I had some hesitation, and it was either Turtle Rock or Misery Mire, because I was not going to go back to Zora. I still hadn't done Graveyard Ledge, and if it was on either one of those two, I figured Signumbs had already done it, and if the boots were there, I lost. So I wasn't going to go back there.
Yeah, I did Zora. I never got to Graveyard Ledge either.
Yeah, some of the chat was rooting for it to be Graveyard Ledge, I think.
I don't think necessarily rooting for it as much as just kind of reminding us of the thing.
Yeah, that would have been.
Somebody was like, "Hey, is it TR or Meyer?" And somebody else pointed out, "Well, Graveyard Ledge still exists."
Yeah, that would have been almost my last check, probably, the way I was going.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to ask about that was just kind of inconsequential, but something I just kind of noted, and now I can't remember what exactly it was.
Did you want to ask about the green potion?
I wasn't gonna pour salt in that particular wound, but since it's out in the open, yeah, let's go ahead and ask about that.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking I needed it for something else, and just, oh yeah.
And then muscle memoried it, and then you got to the door, and Kiki went, haha, have fun getting in, smell you later, and you just, yeah.
Yep.
Tracker pointing out, yeah. When you initially got the flute, you completed out kind of the string of checks ending at Bombos, Bombos tablet. You saved and quit to activate the flute, and then you fluted away from. You did not return to desert for a while, and it kind of felt like an interesting play. Could you maybe talk about what you were thinking there?
Trying to think of what else I was doing at the time. I think that the flute had just opened up everything up on Death Mountain, and since I already had Titan's Mitts and everything, I figured I was going to get more value out of going up there first than doing a desert, which, you know, obviously had the chance of being boots locked, and it was.
Right. I think that's why chat's curious, because with the conditions of the seed, with it being a fast Ganon, and at that point with you being flippers and boots away from go mode, it was a chance to make sure that you were either 1 or 2 items away from go mode, which is a pretty significant difference. Yes, it's only one item. It's only one item, technically speaking, but it can feel like a pretty big difference, and indeed it was kind of the difference in this seed. So
yeah, because I remember I had gone into desert just on the off chance that boots weren't required, and then I was just on a hunt for flippers, which were, I believe, in checkerboard.
They were, yes.
But then I kind of assumed one was behind the other, so I'd either find boots quickly and then get access to flippers, or vice versa. I don't think it actually worked out that way, but yeah, that's kind of when this seed really started to get rude, because boots were hidden all the way up in Mimic Cave, and I think I heard you guys say on the stream, it's kind of a coin flip, where it's going to be.
Yeah, basically, you were heading towards the back of TR, like that section, right as Signumbs was getting into Meyer, and with Meyer having 3 items, I think you'd already found an item or 2 out of TR, and you wouldn't be able to kill Trinix unless you found Ice Rod. It was pretty close to 50-50 split on which location might have it, if either of them would.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking at that point it was probably going to be on pedestal with the way things have been going lately.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, before I went up to to Dark Death Mountain, I checked pedestal on the chance that I would have to clear all these pendant dungeons anyway.
Yeah. And honestly, at the time you were heading up there, I was like, okay, this is happening simply to torture me for having the hubris of doing 2 seeds back to back, and to torture Mercer for running the previous seed and then commenting this one, because as you guys are aware, because you had to delay for us, the previous race ran long. 2 hour, what was it? 2 hour 18-minute first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Well, this one would have been close to 2 hours if we'd have had to do.
Was involved,
yeah, if it wasn't fast Ganon.
All right. So, I don't really have anything else here. Congratulations to Lumaga for the 2-0 and moving on to the next round of the brackets here in the Challenge Cup. GG's, well played to you. Oh my god, am I seriously doing this right now? I am so sorry. My mind just went blank. I'm going to go I'm just going to go crawl into a hole and die of embarrassment while I click on the Discord.
Completely unrelated note. Good tournament to you, Signumbs.
Thank you.
Sorry you're out of.
Well, that's all right. It's I figured I probably wouldn't have had much chance going on past this round anyway. So
yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm now going up against Dragon Strike, who is the #1 overall seed. So I got kind of nothing to lose. Expect some really odd or unorthodox choices from me in the next race, because I'm going to need to pull something out in order to stand a chance, I think.
Well, I can definitely respect that approach. Yeah, I'll be interested in seeing those races and seeing what you go for with it.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap this on up. Thank you to Signumbs for not immediately wanting to murder me for forgetting your name. Thank you to Mercer for number 1 surviving the first seed, and then number 2 immediately jumping into comms without a break between that seed, and specifically that seed, and the second race. Thank you to everybody that stuck around for both races or even just joined in for the second one. Thank you to Amaranth Alterna for the restream. Thank you to He's Just a Boy for commentating. Thank you to the Go Mode podcast staff for allowing us to have this platform to restream. If you enjoyed any or all of this content, follow the runners, follow the tracker, follow the commentators, follow the restreamers, follow the podcast both here on Twitch and on your favorite podcast delivery method of choice. Join the Go Mode Go Mode podcast Discord. The train is going off the tracks and the tracks are about to melt. All of those links were put into the chat by our amazing restreamer while I was having a meltdown on air. So a lot more Challenge Cup action coming on up. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. GG's.